Hello and welcome to the last module of this lecture, the longest one, module 4. We're going to see what data source of NS table view is and how to use delegation to make this whole thing work. So what I want to do is to add more voices. I know my operating system comes with a lot of different voices. And the one that we used in the previous module is the default one, is the first one in the list. But there are different voices and I want the user to be able to select those voices and do something. So I want to create an NS table view. This is just a table and add more voices to that. But this table by itself is of course empty. It has nothing. And we need to create a data source for that table. And to do so, we need to implement a few things. We basically need to implement two methods. First of method is called number of rows in the table view. This should return an integer, NS integer, the number of rows in the table. And the next one should get the object from a specific row. And this is the name of that long method. So what we are aiming is this. We'll make our object the data source of the table. So what we are working on, the class itself, the instance of our class when it runs, will be the data source of the table. So we need to implement those two methods and set data source outlet to our instance. And we're going to have a picture like this. So this is our main application. This is what we're working on. And in the view, we have those two buttons and we have the text field. The buttons have actions, and the target of those actions is our application. They are also outlets. The text field is an outlet, and we are using it to change the text field. So we're not setting the color or color text, but we're changing the string value, and we're getting the string value to send it to the speech synthesizer. The speech synthesizer gets the single method called speech synth. It's the speak string method, and it delegates one action to our object, to our application. So what we're going to add is an array of voices, and we're going to feed this array into our table view because this application is the data source of our table view. So let's go back to our code, make this header file show up. And first thing I want to create is the array. So this is just a simple NS array called voices. And this array will hold all the voices. Now in our init code here, I want to populate this array basically, and I want to get all the voices from our system. So I can do that because this NS speech synthesizer has a method called available voices, and it returns an array. So I just make this. So now I have voices, and this is list of all the voices, all voice objects. Okay, let's go to my interface and add the table view. I need to make this window a bit bigger and have this like this, table view like this. Oops, sorry. That's good enough. So it's a bit tricky actually. If I click it once, I am going to select the scroll view, because when I put the table view inside, it actually gets put inside the scroll view. So I click again, I get to actual table view. And if I click again, I get to the column view. This is the column of the table. So from the inside I have to click twice. This is the scroll view, click again, this is the table view. So I only need one column. So here in the utility area I can change properties for my table view, and I make it one column. It's still cell-based, cell-based is fine, and I don't want to select columns, so like this. That's all right. So now I want to delegate different things from this NS table view. So if I control click, again this is the scroll view, so I click again and control click, this is the table view. I have different outlets in this table view already in place. So what I want to do is to make my object, my application, the data source of this NS table view. And I'm going to just make it so. This is the app delegate, this is my application. Make this connection, and I want for my application to be the delegate of this NS table view. And since I want to do something with this table view, I want to react on it, I want to reference it in my code, I'm going to go to my assistant editor and create an outlet for that, just like we did before. So I'm going to control click and go here, create an outlet called I don't know, table view, and this creates an outlet. Okay, so now in my main, if I just run the application now, let's see, I'll make this debug window show up and just run my application. I have a warning. It says must implement this method and this method. So those two methods that I showed you in the slide should be implemented because we delegated from the NS table view. So let's do it. Let's implement those methods. I don't need any of those. This is my main file. So I want to implement first one, NS integer it's called number of rows in table view, and it gets the NS table view. So the number, we know it's the number of elements in our array, and we're just going to return, we're just going to get the same thing like we did here. I'm going to get NS speech synthesizer, available voices, and count, and of course yes. So how many voices is there? It's the number of voices in the speech synthesizer. So here's some expected type. What is wrong here? Oh. Okay, one done, one to go. Another method we need is getting the specific object from a specific row of our table. So this will return the object, and it's called table view. And it's table view TV object value for column, exactly, and we get the autocomplete just fine. And let's create an NS string. And just get it from, we have the voices array, and since this is an array, we have an object at index method, and we get the row, which is right here. This is the integer, the row number. And again, I made a mistake here. I should probably do it like this. Okay, this warning is just says we never use this v, but we're going to use it right now because I want to just return this v. This will return the string from that row. So now we can actually run the application. Hopefully we will see those voices. So we see those voices here. Nothing happens though because we didn't do anything to change the voice, but at least we get the list of the voices in the table. So now I want, since we did this delegate, we can do something on behalf of that table. That table has every row selectable. Here you can see, you can click on the row and you have this blue line because you select that row. This table by itself does nothing when you select it, but we want to delegate that action to my application and do something in my application when the user does that. So let's do it. We have table view selection did change, and in its NS notification. Yep. So first I need to get the integer, the number of the row that is selected, and we can get it because we have the NS view table as an outlet in my code. So I can just create a new NS integer, call it a row, and make it, we have the table view. Why am I doing this mistake all of the time? I have the table view. Did I call it a table view? Maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, let's see the assistant editor. Yep, I call it table view. And it has a method called selected row. And no, here's a oh yeah, here's the error again. It says receiver type NS scroll view for insert messages not declare method with select a selected row. This is because we again didn't click 2 times when we were creating an outlet, because right here you see we created an outlet for NS scroll view, and that because when I was doing this I selected the scroll view. So I should just click twice. Here I see I selected the table view, and I can do it like so. I call it an actual table view, and I don't want this. This is an actual NS table view, and it has selected row method. But I think we have another problem because we have now 2 times synthesizing table view, and I want to delete one of those. And now this should be fine. We created an integer, so this is the number of the row. If by some reason it's not actually selected, nothing happened, then just return, do nothing here. But if it's some number we selected the row, then let's get the NS string and call it selected voice. This is the voice that we're going to get from voices, and get object at that index raw. So now we have selected voice and we just need to set it. So with speech synth has a method called set voice. Oops, set delegate, no. Already did that. Set voice, and of course just pass it the string of selected voice. So what we did, just to recap, we written a method because we are the delegate of NS table view, and we can just write something that happens when that table, some row on that table gets selected. And all we did is we get the integer, the row number of what's been selected, and we got the voice from the array of voices by that index, and then we set our speech synthesizer to be that voice. So now if I run this application, I will be able to get together. So this is the default voice, and yeah, I should if I select Bruce,
Hello, you.
that's another voice. And if I select, let's Princess,
Hello, you.
that's more of an old lady, but it's fine. There are different voices I can see.
Hello, you.
That works, and that I think is not such a bad example of delegation and how it works. I hope you understood this, because this is essential. The delegation is really important design pattern, and we're going to use it all of the time. So if you have any questions, try to re-watch this lecture, and if you still have questions, feel free to ask any language, basically any way you can ask. But to understand this is really important, so this is not just some stuff you can skip. All right, well, this was fun. See you in a week. Bye bye.